Hello, Andrew here again. I'm going to cover one of my most popular questions that I get asked. How can I write more efficient emails? My advice is that you be more focused in what you're writing, okay? That you focus in clearly on who you're writing to. Know your audience. What level of detail do they need to make a decision, okay? If you're writing to a person that is higher, generally they need less details, but they need a better overall picture. The people below you need a lot more details so that then they can make an accurate decision. So understanding who your audience is, what level of detail they need, that's a key important thing. That will keep you from writing too much detail and keep them from having to read too much. So the next thing is have a focus. What is it you want them to do? Okay. Now this is key because you need to get clear instructions to the person of what it is you want them to do. Now realize this is a very direct style. So if you're in a culture that doesn't value that values a more indirect method, then you'll need to look at how you word this very carefully. You might want to check out some of our videos about indirect speech and passive voice. These are ways that you can soften things and so that it's not quite so direct. But you still are very clear in what it is you want them to do. Okay, so that's the key thing. Focus in on what it is you want them to do. Put that early into the email. Make it very clear early on what it is you're looking for. Okay, then when do they have to do it? You need a very definite time of things to be done. Okay, this lets the person know exactly when you expect to see things. And you have to be careful not to say immediately every time. Otherwise, it'll be like the little boy who cried wolf. And in the story, he always cried wolf when there wasn't one. And people eventually stopped reacting to it. And when the wolf did come, people didn't react. So you need to be very clear when it is you need it by, so that people will react and people will get things done in the time frame you need. Okay? Now, my recommendation also is to attach extra information. Don't put it in the main email. This way the person that is reading it can choose to go look at that information. They don't have to look at it if they feel they trust your judgment and they feel that you are recommending the right thing. They will just make the recommendation and do it. And that will save them time and they will appreciate that. If they're more detail oriented and they want to look through the details, you've provided them. You don't have to worry about them sending an email saying, well, I need this or I need that. You've already provided it in the attachments. Now, there's a good chance with those kind of people, they're going to ask for something anyway. But you've done your best to provide them with the information they need. Okay? So, you've given them what you want them to do. You've said when they have to do it by. You've attached all the extra information. You've provided the good detail. Your email goes off. And then you wait. And you wait. And you wonder, what happened? Why do I not get a response? So at a certain point, close to your deadline, you'll need to write a follow-up email. Now these are a little different because the person should already know what's in the original email. So you should rehash all of that information, okay? You just use the email functions and include the original email in with that email, okay? When you do that, you will need to add a few more things. One is, what are the consequences of delays, okay? Also, ask if further information is required. Maybe they're waiting on something else. So those are the two things that you'll need to add in that follow-up, okay? So the key to writing these kinds of emails is to be very focused and to not put in extra information. Any extra information you put into the attachments, okay? And think carefully about those attachments before you spend a lot of time writing them, okay? With the idea that the person you're writing to may not need them, may not be interested in them. So the focus and the amount of effort you put into it doesn't need to be as intense. If you put it in the original email, of course you know they're going to read it, and so therefore you're under a lot of pressure to make sure you get it correct. With the putting it in an attachment, you can be more relaxed. Also, the types of things that you could put in as attachments often open up things like pictures and graphs and spreadsheets, which are, if you try to write those into a paragraph, are somewhat difficult. But as a graph or a picture, you don't need to write anything. So this is how you can write more efficiently when you write those emails. You're not writing as much, you're showing. Okay, so that's a key thing. Be very focused on what you do. Okay, make sure you write at the right level of detail for the person. Now, if you're writing the same kinds of emails over and over and over again, and you have to keep asking these people the same kinds of questions, there is a strategy where you basically create a model of an email. Now, you won't use every question or every statement in that model, but you have a model that you can then cut and then paste it into an email with small tweaks. That strategy can work very well if you're writing the same kinds of emails over and over again. So if this is helpful for you, I would like you to put a comment below if you find that you write a particular kind of email and you'd like some help with that. Also, comments below will help me put out more videos that will be more helpful for you guys. And if the kind of language that you would use in these things is something that you would like some more information on, please check out our YouTube channel. We have a lot of grammar videos being put up there, and new ones are being put up every week. Quite useful on there. Check out our other videos on our LinkedIn page. Check out the links below, and I will hopefully see you again.